Hey guys, Jay here, and today is gonna be a POE video. So this is my I have made this POE for the Pathfinder AFK build, and in my opinion, this one so far is looking very good, and it is also much cheaper to enter compared to like the Chieftain with the Fulcrum, or maybe even the more expensive version of the Juggernaut. By the end, I mean there's absolutely a lot of expensive upgrade you can do with this version, just exactly the same kind as the other one, but but I think this one is going to be much more cost effective, and I want to share with you a little bit about the POB today. This is going to be the sort of the cheap setup, right? And first of all, I want to say why I made this version, because first of all, the Juggernaut version, which is the end game for the Marauder, which I want to eventually transition into the from the Chieftain to the Juggernaut, it's really hard to deal with the resistance problem if I want to go for the Annihilating Light, which is, I believe, the best weapon for AFKing in Simulacrum. Because in the case you don't have the ignite proliferation from the Chieftain, there is no way you could kill Kosis, and you need to scale the hit damage of the dead of chain reaction to be effectively doing so. And yeah, I think that is just simply the best way for the Juggernaut to approach. You can still do the Juggernaut, it's just gonna be extremely expensive, and probably you would need to still use a Mage Blood with this time it's the Bismuth Flask, which is the one that gives 25 elemental resistances. That is going to be the way to go. However, I have came up with another new setup. Keep in mind, I want to get the disclaimer here. The POB cannot really replicate all the stuff that has going on in this version, and I will explain in a little bit. We have way more recovery than this. I'll explain in the item section. This version is going to be much more achievable for people. First of all, like Consuming Dark 1C, Dawnbreaker, just like 20C. Maybe if you want to aim for the role that is matter is the physical taken as fire. If you want to aim for this one with a higher roll, you might have to pay a little bit more, but it's not necessary in the beginning. Just grab the cheapest one you can. Okay. Next one is going to be a helm. I literally just copy this helm from my in-game character. Let me actually sell this guy this item first, and then I will go for D&D. Okay. So I literally copied this helm from my in-game character. It's nothing, fancy. The main thing we want here is just physical damage from hits taken as fire, and then or lightning, and then also have the implicit modifier to be taken as fire or lightning as well. Please do not get it taken as cold. Taken as cold sometimes gonna break the ability for you to be stunned. Because if a hit is critting you, for example, it roll a hit, it has some cold damage from the cold damage taken, and it can freeze you, then it can no longer stun you. You can check it on the wiki, just know that it exists out there. I have been saying things about this for quite a while already. Okay. So, yeah, this one is just for some extra fizz taken as elemental, not cold, and some life. If you have other things, like in this case, they have a little bit of resistance, a little bit of dexterity, that's fine, that's good. The body armor is Cloak of Flame. This one you literally don't need to care about ignite duration roll, which is the one that is making this expensive. So just get the highest fire resistance as you can. If even if we are having 124% more resistant, more fire resistant than we need in this version. So just get a random Cloak of Flame. It probably is like 1 KS for the worst one, right? Next one, this is gonna be a Gauntlet, which is the glove. I mean, it is having cold and lightning resistant here, but all you look for is just maximum life. and crafted intelligence here. Why? Because we really want a armor and evasion base, right? So maybe you can roll extra, just like and one extra roll on suppression. As you can see, currently I have no suppression on gear, and on the suppression chance over here, you see I have 90%. So just one random 10% suppression from anywhere will just cap to suppress, which is very nice. So I really want the armor and evasion base, because armor and evasion, well, I use armor reflex in the build, so this is probably the most beneficial base for the build. Let me see this, the next one. By the way, the resistance, as you can see here, we are kind of overcapped, so the resistances might look like too much here, very expensive, but in reality you don't even need that much. Okay. This item literally, see, I have the ring on here, and this ring literally just have intelligence and maximum life. We need intelligence from gear, so we do not have to take it from the tree, and you know, because with this build you have quite a lot of resistances from Flasks and stuff that have 100% uptime, so we don't really need to have a lot of resistances on gear, and getting intelligence here is actually very beneficial, so we can use all the gems, right? The belt, well, just as much life as possible. If you can get things like flask charge gain, reduced flask charge used, increased flask effect duration, these are not required. Just any of this is nice, just know that, right? Also, of course, life resistances is okay though. This is just, you don't have to have all three roll on the same belt. That's crazy. Okay, next, forbidden taste. This is one of the bread and butter of piece of the build. I will explain later, but it's going to be 1 chaos, just any flask. This one is going to be like the one of the more expensive things or harder to get thing in the build. You want a bismuth flask, it's going to be ideal. Any other elemental flask is okay as well, but I believe bismuth is the best case. It's the best one you can have here. And you want it to have to craft with 15% of damage taken from hits is leech as life during flash effect, and this combo really well with the Tainted pact. The Tainted pact here, taking chaos damage over time, heals you instead while leeching life. This is the 1 chaos item, by the way. So you want to be leeching from some sources all the time, and with the AFK build where you take hits all the time, then this flask is going to be keeping you 100% uptime of leech, some form of leech, and this one is the most consistent one in my opinion. We can have other sources as well, but yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention Valerium is still 1 chaos for non-corrupted, and you know, no special corruption. Inextricable fate, 1 chaos item, very strong. I will explain later. Okay. So bismuth flat, you do try to gain charges when you are hit by an enemy, because we get hit a lot all the time with AFK build. That is the same thing for all the other flasks. On this one I am using a sapphire because cold resistant is actually the thing that is lacking the most in this build. We don't have a lot of slot for rare item in the later game. We also actually have more best in slot item in belt, in maybe ring, and maybe even glove. Only the helmet is going to be like rare in the end game, so it's really hard to get resistances. And with a Pathfinder we can rely like heavily on Flask for resistances, which is a very nice thing to have. And currently I am having this one on increased armor during effect. This one I have reduced effect of curses, probably is better than armor during effect. And this one is increased block and stun recovery during effect. Why is this roll? Well, this roll is necessary when you don't have a high roll immutable force. Let me check for, yeah, immutable force, because the higher roll the immutable force, ideally the best roll for it is going to be 960% and above, and that's going to be like 10 divine or something. So you can use a cheaper one and then have some on your flask. It goes off all the time and it always keep you at a better block and stun recovery rate, basically. So I think that is the best one. Forbidden Flash and Flame on the jewels. Forbidden Flash and Flame, currently I actually am having it for Master Alchemist. This is, first of all, not necessary. Second, I put it in here because they are 30 chaos and 40 chaos respectively, so I spend like 70-80 chaos for both the jewels. If you can have them, nice. You know, they are not necessary. You're just adding them by the end of the character anyway, so just know that they are here to just some extra quality of life because they are very, very cheap. If they got anything more than like 1-2 divine, it is not worth it. Just put any other rare jewels in here. You will end up with a better result, probably. Maybe rare jewel is going to be even better if you want to have, for example, reduce effect of shock on your character. That combo with the Pantheon is going to help you to get 100% reduce effect of shock on the character, which is, you know, basically immune to shock. Okay, golden rule, 1 chaos. The main thing is poison you inflict is reflected to you. This, well, extremely beneficial because we are poisoning all the time. We reflect those to our character, and that is chaos damage over time, and it instead heals the character. This potentially like thousands of regen per second, maybe even more. The more damage we deal, the more damage we have with the poison, well, the more healing we get. So we are using the golden rule here. Immutable force and blood notch. These two are like the bread and butter of the cast when stunned, so there's nothing too much to explain here. One keep you like basically unaffected by stun. You still get stunned, but for very tiny amount of time. And the blood notch help you with a lot of recoup, so you regain a lot of life from the hits because every hit is stunning you. Glorious Vanity here, the roll on the Glorious Vanity doesn't matter, so this technically is like 1 divine. Just get the cheapest one you can. Last time I checked yesterday, it's 1 divine. There's like hundreds of them on the market, so it should not be hard to just get one. Because we are not getting any notable passive over here, so the roll doesn't really matter. Maybe you have like a little bit, like 2%, 4% life from the small passive, but that doesn't matter, right? Just get any of the cheapest one. I literally have a cheapest one. I don't even try to look for a timeless jewel here. For the Pleasant Flame, already talk about it. Natural's Affinity. This one is going to be the Grasping Vine. So you gain 2 Grasping Vine for each second while you're stationary. Very good if you are doing AFK content like Simulacrum, Ultimatum, sort of things like that, where you stand in one place. You will just eventually get, like, from this jewel alone, 10% less damage taken, and also 20% chance to deal double damage. It combo with this Inextricable Fate Fugitive Boots, and if you have both of this source of Grasping Vine up, you will have 20% less damage taken, 40% chance to deal double damage. Pretty strong if you are just wanting to stand in one place. Right. So next one. Currently, I am having a Grand Spectrum here. This one is just here for your reference. If this is cheap, then use it. If this is not, then don't. If you have 3 Grand Spectrum, and this can be in the place of both the Forbidden Jewels, because we don't technically need the Forbidden Jewel. And with all 3 of these Grand Spectrum, you technically can be just have 100% avoidance to all elemental element, because it's gonna be 36% chance to avoid per jewel. We have 3, so that is more than 100% to avoid. Well, this is just like a tech, but without it, this is not a mandatory one. Forbidden Flash and Flame is technically not mandatory as well, right? Watcher's Eye here, this is also not mandatory, by the way. It is nice to have, depending on if it's cheap. In my searches, I have seen that the Leech's Life, while affected by Vitality, is actually quite cheap. The only aura that I am using is actually Vitality, so yeah, the Watcher's Eye, you just need like the Leech as life while affected by Vitality. Why? Because that is an extra source of Leech that is up all the time, so we are even more sure of the Tainted pact to always have the chaos damage taken heal stats. The healing can be here as well, by the way. This flask with the Pathfinder, with all the monster we are killing, is going to be using all the time because it is reaching maximum charges, and then every time it is used is going to recover 100% life instantly, and also it gives a debuff, which in this case with Tainted pact is actually a buff of 25% maximum life taken as chaos damage per second. This buff doesn't stack, but it is 25% per second. It is absolutely huge. And I mean, every time you reuse the flask, it is gonna just refresh the duration of the debuff, which is in case this time is the actually healing buff, which is very, very strong. Right, so the skills. Oh, I forgot to mention I think I forgot to mention about this timeless jewel keystone. This is going to be divine flesh. The jewel is going to be a glorious vanity in the name of Sibaqua. Divine flesh here makes half of your elemental damage taken converted to chaos damage, so you don't need to worry about heavy elemental hits that have a lot of penetration. Normally hits that are deadly and that are elemental is going to have a lot of penetration, and that, you know, basically screw up your elemental resistance. With this, we don't need to worry about that that much, so it is very strong defensively. Works really well with this build. Right, next the tree. So we are out here. I am grabbing the poison, 2 poison here. Okay, I come out here, grab the poison, the flask. Those are the main thing that is going to be damage. Beside those, everything else is just life. Jewel socket, suppression over here. Here is some damage over time, and the mastery is going to be less damage over time taken, so we are even tankier. This is just a tech wheel. If you have a corrupted ring with bleeding cannot be inflicted on you, you don't need this. But if that is not the case, then well, look at this. This is gonna give you bleed immunity if your helmet have more armor than evasion. That is going to be very easy to do, right? You can even use a pure armor base for this one. Just grab life. This one is going to be some reservation efficiency. This thing over here, all the reservation here actually affect life reservation, because they are not saying that specifically mana reservation efficiency. So life preservation efficiency, this allow us to actually reserve petrified blood and then a 25% reservation, which ideally I think the best one is going to be Arctic armor, which is going to be the make the character most tanky as possible. If we don't need it, then well, you can use the Herald of Agony for more poison chance and poison damage, right? More life, blood magic, so we don't need to worry about mana cost, because mana cost is going to be very crazy. So just take blood magic is going to make your life so much easier. Also in this version, because we are taking blood magic, the life cost of the skill went down because we don't have the multiplier from life tap, and also we have 1 extra gem socket from every single link that we have in the build. As you might already know, previously I linked life tap to every single setup in the previous iteration of the AFK build from the Marauder, and that works out fine. But here I want to utilize more skill gems into the automation setup, and so I decided to go for blood magic. I think it is the good choice here because there's not really a tons of auras that I want to use anyway. So yeah, next one here, just life armor, jewel slot, life, and then eventually we grab agnostic. Agnostic is gonna make our energy shield 0, and with Valerium Ring, that makes every hit will just stun our character guaranteed to trigger cast when stun. This is the last very important mastery, which is going to be 10% of physical damage from hits taken as chaos. If you are counting in the current gear section over here, you have 40% fist as fire here. You have potentially 20% fist as fire in the shield, and if you have a corrupted one, like I do in this case, I did bought a very nice corrupted one here with 8% fist taken as chaos. And from this two, currently we have 60, and then let's just count all the corruption as well in this case. 8, potentially up to 8% corruption as well, so 68%. With the helmet, we can have up to 10% from the explicit modifier, which is veiled modifier, and then 6% from the implicit. I believe if you use a higher tier Eldritch item, you can have up to 8% there as well. So that is additional 18. 18 plus 68 is gonna be 86% already. That along with 10% from the mastery we just see here is going to be 96% of physical damage taken as either elemental or chaos. So that basically make us like almost immune to physical. We take like 4% of all the physical damage that is dealt to our character. So technically we don't even need to mitigate them anymore. And we have still quite a few amount of armor here, right? I still have armor because I still use molten shell. If you don't have any armor, just use steel skin or something like that instead. Well, let's get to the skill section then. Detonated chain reaction. This time we will be using it cast when stun, of course. Unbound ailment, it's very strong for poison. Cruelty, both hit and damage over time, which is poison, is going to benefit from this. Elemental focus somehow is like one of the best support gem. Of course, you can upgrade it to awaken elemental focus, same as unbound element. Awaken version is just going to be straight better. And then awaken added chaos damage. This is going to be, everything here is just going to be normal gem, or if it is a cheap awaken gem, it's going to be level 1 here. So yeah, it is pretty affordable. Desecrate, I am leaving it at 20, but of course 21 is going to be better. Empower, here I just leave it here, but I didn't even tick it, so it technically doesn't even affect the number here. If you can afford it, yeah, buy an empower to put it here. It is going to be very good for Desecrate. And well, punishment here as well, the usual stuff. Next one, petrified blood, arctic armor. This Hero of Agony is here, but I didn't tick it. In this version I am activating arctic armor, and in this setup I have flame dash and vitality as well. Vitality, normally I keep it at level 1 here. We have way too much recovery from this setup already, so we don't really need some extra regen from vitality. It is just there in case you want to enable the effect of a Watcher's Eye, right? So just level 1 is good. This one, cast when stun, unearth, greater multiple projectile, and greater volley. This setup is gonna be 9 total projectile from 1 trigger of unearth, and that is 9 corpses. So we are generating way more corpses, both from Desecrate, and now we are also generating from the unearth. I mean, technically you might not even need to use greater volley here, or just need one of these and just slap another empower into it, because creating 5 corpses with Desecrate each cast, and then another 5 corpses with unearth, it is 10 corpses, so it is equal to the amount of corpses one single cast of detonate dead of chain reaction is going to be able to detonate anyway. So that is sufficient. I think by the end you should just get an empower here for more level corpses, basically. Righteous Fire. Well, Righteous Fire, because half of the fire damage we take is actually chaos due to Divine Flash, and yes, Divine Flash. Cloak of Flame, and Dawnbreaker are the three things that actually convert the damage over time taken to another thing as well. So half of the degen from Righteous Fire, and it's gonna be it's gonna be Chaos, which is technically is gonna heal us. So this can be here, it can be extra damage. I have not tested it in game, but you know, if it doesn't work, you can just remove it, add another spell or something into the setup, so it's okay. It's just one linked over here. Automation, Valmolten Shell, and increased duration. If you don't have a lot of armor, if this molten shell is not yielding as much EHP pool as a steel skin does, switch to steel skin. That is just as simple as that. And this one, I don't even have 2 extra gem here already. The things we can you know, improve on the build is the Tainted Pact. The best in slot for corruption is going to be double curse, I think, because we are doing a lot of chaos damage. So the despair curse will be very strong for chaos damage taken, and second curse is will be very strong here. So potentially we can have like just cast when stun and the second curse in the last 2 socket we have here, right? One more thing in the tree, I believe that corruption here, 20% effect of wither is going to be the best anoint, because we are a pathfinder. We are having all the wither in the world with this. We hit many times, and for sure we will be reaching like 15 stacks of wither very quickly. So effect wither is just really strong, and yeah, just for scaling damage. We have also master toxicist here, so we have more poison damage and also poison proliferation. Naturous adrenaline for fast sustain, and nurture's boon. We are still having a lot of magic flasks. Even if later we switch to maybe, let's say, a progenesis, both of fate, those kind of thing, well, we still might want to keep nature's boon. If you think it's not necessary, you can just take one small point, so we have more flask charge gain, and then increase the effect of all the flasks, which is very strong actually. So that is everything I want to share with this video. It's already very long and probably pretty hard to follow, but I mean, if you know a thing or two about the game, you probably can just follow the POB and build the character. I will be playing this character, I will be leveling it up, I will be updating on a more endgame version, things like progenesis, things like bottle faith, things like even original sin. Someday, somehow, when I have enough money, I will surely get that. But I think this version is more than good enough to do like tier 16 juice map or something like that, maybe even tier 17. I don't know, let's just find out in reality when we actually play the character instead. And so that's it for the video. Thanks to you guys for watching. If you want to join me on stream, I will be streaming as this video is published. I'll leave the link in the description. Also, I have created a Discord, a small Discord channel. I mean, not channel, but Discord server. So come hang out, ask any question. There are quite a few people there already, and you know, we can all help out each other. We can all enjoy POE together. So thanks for watching. Again, stream link in the description. Maybe see you in the next video. Peace.